Good day, everyone. I'm Dr. Tripti Singh, your moderator for today's Expert Chat Show. And today we have a special guest with us, Dr. Lalith Prasad, to our chat show, a distinguished leader in education with over 25 years of transformative experience, holding a PhD in education. Dr. Prasad has worked globally, leaving an indelible mark on the teaching and learning landscape. As the head of training and professional development for South Asia at Cambridge Assessment, he has been a driving force behind the impactful implementation of the Cambridge Professional Development Qualification Framework. His dedication to shaping the future of education has made him a trusted authority in the field, and we are thrilled to have him share his invaluable insights with us today. We welcome you, sir.
Namaste, all of you. Thanks, Tripti, for those kind words.
Correct, sir. Now, I would like to kindly request Ms. Sohini to play the video.
As a head of school, you might be looking for ways to help your teachers and leaders become more effective. Cambridge PDQs are a great way for teachers and school leaders to transform teaching or leadership practice and improve student outcomes. These qualifications develop our Cambridge teacher and school leader attributes, encouraging them to become confident, responsible, reflective, innovative, and engaged. Schools immediately benefit from Cambridge PDQs because teachers and leaders focus on students and improving practice in the classroom. And school leaders see a cultural change in classrooms and improvements in the quality of student learning. Our professional development qualifications are based on the principles of learning, practice and reflection and cover 4 themes: teaching and learning, teaching bilingual learners, teaching with digital technologies, and educational leadership. Cambridge PDQs are suitable for practicing teachers who have at least 1 year of teaching experience. You do not need to have a formal teaching qualification. If you are considering the educational leadership program, you simply need to be an aspiring or practicing school leader. The Cambridge PDQ diploma consists of 3 learning and assessment modules. You can take the certificate on its own or progress to the diploma. Each module typically takes around 4 months to complete and must be finished successfully before moving to the next. The certificate and diploma programs are based on a spiral of learning, with each area revisited systematically, so you continually develop and build your knowledge and skills as the course progresses. Each module is split into 3 key learning areas: guided learning, focusing on theoretical and practical information; work-based learning, to put your learning into practice immediately; individual and collaborative learning, supported by a mentor. The program is led by a program leader in your centre, and candidates are supported by a mentor. To find out how you can make a difference to learning, thinking and practice in your school, visit our website.
Thank you, Sohini, for playing the video. And the message in the video beautifully underscores the critical role of professional growth and reflective practice in shaping effective educators and impactful leaders. Lalith, sir, building on this idea, could you elaborate on how the Cambridge Professional Development Qualification Program supports teachers and school leaders in achieving these goals?
Thank you very much. And also, I'm glad that we played this video because it sets the correct context for this conversation that we're going to have today. Firstly, I want to clarify, these PDQs are not only for Cambridge International School teachers. These qualifications are developed by Cambridge, but it's going to lend itself very well to the teachers. Those may be working for different curriculars. It could be CBSE schools, it could be state boards, it could be ICSE, IB, any curriculum for that matter. So I think, as we saw in the small video clip, it brings in a lot of focus for the teachers to be more reflective and also understand the theoretical aspect of the teaching, learning, and assessments broadly around the pedagogical area. So that's how I think the PDQs are going to help the teachers humongously in terms of making and changing the classrooms and making it more learner-centric and also more in terms of having all pedagogical strategies being implemented in a way that it demands to.
Thank you for explaining this, sir. And I would say that how does this PDQ program align with the objectives and priorities of various educational frameworks and curricula?
Yes, like I mentioned, that it is not limited itself to the Cambridge International Curriculum. So it doesn't limit in terms of only to the pedagogical strategies that you might want to see in the Cambridge curriculum. For example, we build on active learning. So the whole curriculum is built on active learning. So what does active learning mean? It is not activity-based learning only. It is more of how do you engage the child in the learning process? How do you give that kind of experience for a child when the child undergoes or want to kind of leave the journey of a student? So coming back to the PDQs, what we want to also bring in is how can we align these kind of global curriculum or a global level professional learning environment in a regional or local context. So that's how it lends very well in terms of bringing a collaborative learning, in terms of bringing a kind of a child-centered learning and also reflective practice very well. For example, just to quote this here in this forum, so if you see there are a lot of asks that is coming from NAP 2020. So those are actually related to what I've been talking now. So collaborative learning, reflective practice, and so on and so forth. So in a way, our PDQs, professional development qualifications, actually help teachers to implement NAP 2020 very well. Not limited there, but it can actually make the classrooms more active and also more meaningful and also purposeful in itself.
Yeah, rightly said. And I'm sure that this adaptability makes the program a powerful tool for educators and institutions striving to achieve both local and global educational goals.
Yep.
Yeah. So now taking this forward, could you tell our audience about the types of courses offered under the Cambridge PDQ program?
Of course. So I think if you can recall, there are 4 streams that we are talking. So when I say streams, each stream will have a certificate and also diploma program. And just before that, I should say, what is a certificate program? Certificate program, the duration of a certificate program is 150 hours. And it could be delivered or it could be kind of conducted or implemented close to 4 to 6 months in any setting for that matter. And each of the certificate programs, like I said, it is 150 hours. It has to be implemented by a PDQ center. So now that's an important aspect that I want to bring in. So there may be a lot of these kind of queries that would be running in your minds, that where could we find these programs? Where could we get enrolled to PDQ programs itself? So what we do is that our Cambridge International Schools and also the other institutions which are interested to offer professional learning courses, so they approach us and also we validate them and also follow a thorough process in terms of recognizing them as a PDQ center, Professional Development Qualification Center. However, most of our professional development qualification centers are Cambridge International Schools, because whenever we start speaking to them about the products and services that we have, so we also speak about the Professional Development Qualification Center. So there are these centers which are available, and Tripti will put on the QR code after me completing this, or maybe simultaneously also. So these PDQ centers are available across or pan-India. So whenever we select the centers, we also kind of validate and also recognize the geographical presence. So we all know that the schools are spread across all over. It is not limited to just one state, one city, or one town. So it means that we want teachers all over. We want qualified teachers everywhere. So keeping that in mind, we also register PDQ centers. We have close to 61 centers right now. You may see more when you scan the QR code, because we are kind of including the region the South Asia region here. We have some centers in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh as well. So the candidate or the interested or aspirant teacher needs to approach the PDQ center, and then they have to kind of make the request in terms of whether they need to join the certificate program or diploma program. So the certificate program needs to be completed before the candidate wants to pursue the diploma program. So as I said, certificate is one module, diploma are two modules. So module 1 is certificate, module 2 and module 3 together is diploma program. So I was talking about the streams. So the first stream is teaching and learning, so which helps the teachers to understand the theories and also principles and foundation ethos on which the whole pedagogy is been dependent. When I say pedagogy, it is a combination of content, the teaching and learning methodologies, and also assessment when I say curriculum or when I say the stream. So it's going to give a teacher a lot of understanding in terms of what a teacher should understand as principles to be a teacher. The second stream is certificate and diploma program in digital technologies or teaching with digital technologies. So how could we effectively use digital technologies in teaching, learning, and assessment is the core content of this particular certificate and diploma program. The third stream is teaching bilingual learners. So this is not much sought, but still this is something that we want to encourage teachers to take up. So it might be teaching second language, or it might be teaching Hindi, it might be teaching French, it might be teaching Spanish. So there are a few principles that as teachers we need to understand in terms of what are those principles and how should we kind of understand that and also probably implement that in teaching, learning, and assessment. The other important stream is also the certificate and diploma programs in education leadership. This is very important and also very critical for a successful school. So when we say leadership, it is not only the top designation in a school. It could be the second rank of people. It could be the vice principals. It could be the coordinators or subject heads. So we request and also we offer this program to bring in those kind of qualities and also understanding of the qualities for the person in terms of how can the person after completing certificate or diploma program will be able to help the teachers understand what their objectives are, what their goals are, and also what the goals of the school itself, and also how do they want to drive it together in a collaborative way. Along with these 4 streams, we are also developing 2 other streams. The 5th stream is very interesting and also much sought again. It is a certificate program in early years good practice, which is not listed yet, but still we are going to announce next year. And the other one is certificate in classroom practice. So all these programs, when I say certificate, these are level 4 in the framework of teacher education, which is being regulated by Ofqual UK. So each country has its own regulations for teacher education and also the education itself, the school education as well as the higher education. So this is how it has been kind of laid out. And the 60 centers or 60 odd centers that you would have scanned on the QR code, not all the centers will offer all the streams of certificate and diploma program. So when you contact the centers, you will understand that they would say that, look, we only offer teaching and learning. We only offer education leadership. We offer both teaching and learning as well as the education leadership sorts and digital technologies for that matter, or bilingual learners. So one has to contact the centers and also understand what they offer. Then accordingly, given your interest, you can join the courses in that center.
So thank you, sir. Your explanation of the different certificates and diplomas under the Cambridge PDQ program highlights its comprehensive approach to professional development. It is evident that educators can choose pathways tailored to their specific career goals. Now, taking this forward, what subjects are typically covered in the PDQ courses and how are they relevant for educators today?
That's an interesting question, actually. So if I want to just ask myself another follow-up question. So what is the profile or how are the profiles of the student changing year by year or year on year? So there's a lot of reformation that nations are doing, including India, because we are talking about NEP 2020, we're talking about 21st century skill, we're talking about industry 4.0. All the skills are very, very important. Unless until we are upskilling continuously as teachers, we might miss the bus, or we might be sidelined, we might be ignored for various factors. So bringing that kind of a context. So the PDQs also are subjected to revision and also revisiting the kind of subjects and content. Broadly, if I want to lay it down, so 21st century skill is what we're talking. So it all started with Bloom's taxonomy, and also we understood the nuances within the Bloom's taxonomy in terms of how the analysis play a role, how decision making plays a role, and things like that. So we have brought in a lot of these skills as our focus areas in teaching and learning. When I say that, no matter which subject we teach in the schools, for example, if I'm teaching math, I need to have 10 21st century skills actually associated with my maths teaching. That's how I think the students will thrive, not only in exams, but still thrive to be a very confident citizen or a confident human being in the society. So that's the focus where we are all kind of moving ahead. So just coming back to those concepts and areas, in teaching and learning, we focus more on pedagogy. So pedagogy is nothing but the teaching methods. So these days, there are pedagogies with technologies, there are pedagogies with IoTs, there are pedagogies with AI, there are pedagogies with a lot of other things. We all know that Vedic maths creates a pedagogy and also it lays it down. So we want to understand what are those pedagogies that are available in India, abroad, global, and what are the pedagogies that are thriving, and also how are these pedagogies being implemented? How can one understand the student or learner's need? For example, I was having a conversation with one of the organizations this morning when they were asking what kind of courses do the teachers need or they wish to kind of pursue. I would say that teachers want to understand how could they create more of the learning spaces rather than just being teaching. So the skill of creating learning spaces may override and also take a kind of a first step in terms of for teachers to understand. And this particular stream also would include implementing effective teaching and also learning strategies. Coming to the digital technologies, like I said, it could be exploring more of integrating technologies in the classroom to enhance the learning as well as to also implement the assessment more effectively, and also probably to give more assistance to the teachers in terms of how they can use technology more optimal. Bilingual learners, like I said, there could be strategies that are going to support student learning, maybe a second language or non-native language, and what are those theories and principles that the teachers need to understand in those areas would be mainly focused in bilingual learners certificate and diploma programs. Education leadership stream, it develops or upskills the leaders, and also it will actually promote fostering the collaboration and also, of course, thereby improve the learning outcomes that the schools would have thought about or set for themselves. So these are some of the areas that these streams would definitely kind of encapsulate. And also one thing which is common across all these streams, and also when I say across all these streams, I'm also including early years good practice and also the classroom certificate for classroom practice, which are reflective and also adaptive approach for teaching and also leadership, which is very, very important for us. Unless until a teacher is reflective and also teacher is actually thinking what went well and also where is the kind of situation or a stage where I need to course correct. So it might be very rudimentary and also mundane kind of experience for students, unless until we do that ourselves and also we look back. And also maybe it's not only self-reflection, there may be some agencies that you create within your school. For example, it could be your peer who's going to give you that feedback and also encourage you to reflect upon what has been done. So in all, what we mean to say is that how can we get the globally recognized qualification, which with a lot of thrust in the areas that I just mentioned, and also how do we encourage the professional learning kind of a ladder or create that pathway for teachers is main focus for us. So this is all stored very tightly. When I say tightly, it is not going to be very rigid in terms of understanding, but I'm saying it's packed well or bundled well for a teacher to unfold it in the classroom. One important thing I want to mention is no matter how many professional development trainings or qualification you do, unless until it unfolds or it transcends into the classroom practices, so it just stays as a qualification and a certificate. So what we try to do in this diploma programs or certificate program is we give you a lot of helping hand. We give you a lot of support so that you understand that and also then bring that to the classroom and see the effect for yourself. And we have a lot of people who come back to us and say that, oh, now I'm feeling completely kind of I'm getting the feeling of a teacher in terms of understanding. I know theory, I know practical, I know principles. Now I'm a kind of a very confident teacher. I'm going to stop there. I keep on talking about this. This is my very, very kind of passionate subject, but still, yes. Yes, Tripti.
Yes, sir. So, sir, now I see a lot of questions also there in the chat box. Of course, I'm going to take a little later. So, based on this, that the range of subjects covered in the PDQ program reflects its commitment to addressing the diverse and evolving needs of educators. And of course, these courses not only prepare teachers for modern challenges, but also position them as a leader in their field. So, taking this, just if you could help our teachers more, that how does the blended learning approach in PDQs support teachers who may not have access to extensive resources?
That's a good question, actually. So when we started implementing and also developing the PDQs and also the new one, and also, of course, we should not forget when the COVID hit all of us, and also probably it made us think about what are the ways of learning, what are the ways of teaching that we might have. So these terminologies became very common. And what we understood is that the blended approach, where it could be online or virtual plus the face-to-face, or how could we encourage the student teachers who wants to take up the certificate and diploma programs, access those e-learning resources remotely wherever they are situated. So all this came like a combination. From then on, whenever we received applications from the PDQ centers, we also told them in a very straightforward manner that how are you going to implement your PDQ programs? Is it going to be in only one format, or you're trying to get blended approach, or maybe combining two other formats when you want to offer certificate and diploma programs? So there was a lot of demand for this blended approach. So when we say 150 hours, we're not going to divide very religiously saying that out of 150 hours, 75 hours need to be face-to-face. However, we recognize that the teaching component, the practical teaching component, is very integral for the professional development certificate and diploma program. No matter how much ever I study and how much ever I internalize those theories and also those concepts which are there in any qualification for that matter, not only PDQs, I think I need to practice that. I need to put that into reality. I need to understand how these are transcending itself and also proving itself in the learning processes and also assessment processes that I may want to kind of practice. So, of course, we have a lot of online materials which supports our blended learning process where the candidate could remotely access. But I would still say that when you contact your PDQ centers, so they would definitely brief about how they want to offer this, whether they want to have 60-40%, whether they want to have 50%, whether they want to have 70-30%. It's completely left to the centers in terms of how they want to offer. Like I said, we hold a strong string here in terms of saying that whenever the course plan is laid down, it has to be kind of ratified by Cambridge, because we might not allow centers to just run 10% of face-to-face and also 90% of virtual. I'm not saying we might not allow, but still we want to understand how is it being kind of positioned, how is it being kind of managed. So this is how I think our resources are being placed, and also like I was saying, the global best practices also say that it should be a minimal kind of intervention of the resources, but still more of a practice for yourself. I'm not disregarding, or I'm not actually putting down the online classes or a virtual classes that the teacher engages with the student, because I was a part of a lot of online engagement by a teacher with students. Even there, we could see the dynamics or the pedagogies being implemented very well, very optimally. But still, in the context of the subcontinent we are all in, countries like India, we understand more in terms of practical. That is, the school classroom environment actually strikes a very, very great kind of learning opportunities for teachers.
Thank you, sir. It's reassuring to know that the blended learning approach in PDQ ensures accessibility and inclusivity, even for teachers in resource-constrained areas. And this flexibility is essential for empowering educators worldwide. And now I have this question. Of course, I can see the similar kind of question in the chat box also, that India is a multilingual country with many non-native English-speaking teachers. How do the Cambridge PDQs support these educators?
Well, that's a great question, actually. Whenever we implement a lot of training programs, so the prerequisite for, though I said it is a curriculum agnostic, but there are prerequisites for the training program that we offer and also the qualifications that we offer. So in the scale of the IELTS, so IELTS is a kind of a test of language proficiency if you want to travel to other country. So this certification, it has different levels. It has B1, B2, C1, C2, C3, etc. So all the training programs and professional development programs that we're talking may need B2 level of English for teachers. Now, going back to the question that was asked in the chat box and also Tripti now. So some of our teachers may not be B2 proficient. So will they be kind of deprived by these qualifications? I would say no, because that's the model that we have. So the model what we have right now is we are encouraging the PDQ centers to offer this. So whenever the PDQ center gets a cohort of say 10 teachers, and also when they interact with them before recruiting them or making admissions, they will understand, so what is the level of the language that needs to be used, and also what is the kind of course correction or what is the kind of tweaking that they need to be doing in terms of the use of English or use of language itself. Because these pedagogical strategies are actually language agnostic again. So if you want to practice something in the classroom like a pair work, pair work can be practiced in a Kannada class, Telugu class, Tamil class, English class, Hindi class, anywhere. So this doesn't catch up a language tag to itself. Likewise, most of the pedagogical or theoretical or principles that we're talking, so doesn't really need a tag of a language. However, the vocabulary or the words that's been used in the literature, in the resources of Cambridge, needs to be decoded to a level where a teacher who's non-native speaker can also understand. That's very important. So that's the place where we need to do a careful planning. And probably once that has been addressed, I think these courses, any training program can be easily kind of assimilated in terms of values of the program can be assimilated by anybody. So this is what we encourage. One of the things that we also do in bilingual teaching for bilingual learners is these strategies. how do you keep the quality at the top level, but still kind of bring the other languages into the play? So we should not be with a kind of a notion that English is the only language which can bring all the learning to us, because we are a non-native speaker. That's okay. We can speak our own language. We are very proficient in our language. Maybe countries like UK or some of the Western countries, their native language is English. That's why they are proficient. Their vocabulary, or if you see the bank of words that they have, maybe much greater than the words that, or number of words that we might use. It doesn't put us down, because our thinking capacities, our pedagogical, the sharpness in our pedagogies are equivalent or sometimes much higher. So what I want to mention is, of course, there could be multi-linguistic kind of situations, but still these qualifications render or lend itself very well to whatever the need is in whichever country. Not only India, I'm saying. It could be sub-Saharan countries, or it could be any other countries.
Thank you, sir. And now, again, this is again, many people are asking this question. So I'll just put it to you, sir, that how does the PDQ diploma program differ from certificate program in terms of structure, focus, and outcome?
Okay, so I think to a certain extent, we saw in terms of what it entails. So the certificate program will inform you what these principles are and also what these theories are and things like that. When you move on to the next level, so it will make you internalize those concepts. So it's like a kind of a sequence of things that's going to happen. We understand as a teacher or as a teaching fraternity, we should not overload or overwhelm people, because just to take an example, because schools might be using Cambridge resources in one or the other way. It could be curriculum, it could be our books, but this is not a way for us to just impose things, saying that, oh, we have this qualification, take this. That is not the way. I think we have to sequence that. We also have to give small capsules. And as we all understand and also keep talking, that each student is unique, each teacher is unique. So we need to celebrate that. We need to identify and recognize that. And therefore, it's our responsibility and duty to give the small capsules of things. So coming back to the question itself, the certificates are just 150 hours of exposure. So if you want to actually increase the breadth and depth of understanding the principles or theories, then you have to get to the next module, which is module 2. And if you want to gain even more or still more, want to build on mastery over those theories and also those kind of foundations, then you might have to take the module 3. So the basis is in terms of how much of content you're going to kind of encounter. Secondly, how much of analysis and also reflection you're going to do. Therefore, how much of understanding you might get from each of this module is very important to determine whether you are pursuing a certificate or diploma program. This is one side of the whole thing. The second important consideration is also certificate is level 4. So I need to say this. So in the teacher education kind of the world, if I want to put a broader word, so there are regulatory authorities which determine the levels for each of this qualification. So in that sequence, certificate would fall under level 4 and diploma would fall under level 5. So which means that diploma is higher than the certificate program. So to acquire diploma, you need to complete the certificate and then move on. And I was also looking at some of the questions as it appeared on the chat box. I want to pick this opportunity. So once you do, if you're a graduate and also you pursue your certificate program and also you pursue your diploma programs, so you have a very interesting, exciting opportunity which is waiting for you, which is that you can take up the required IELTS and also do a small kind of prep course by the Anglia Ruskin University, with which we have partnership. They will take you to a master's program, online master's program. So that is a kind of a pathway that you have from certificate program till a master's program, and also that is the master program is coming from a internationally recognized university which is called as Anglia Ruskin University. So if you're not a graduate, these are situations and scenarios which still prevails. I would not say that it would prevail in India, but still there could be some pockets where they could be excellent teachers, but they would have not got the educational qualification with them. So even for those kind of teachers, they can pursue certificate program, thereafter the diploma program. Then the ARU also gives a prep course for BA Hons online. Once they complete that, they can pursue their masters or a PG program. So this is how we have actually created that kind of a pathway for teachers. So you should also understand the difference between taking a PG program abroad, online, and also on-site, because it's very costly. It's very expensive if you want to travel and also stay in other countries. So if you have a chance of doing online, you will just spend not more than 25 to 30% of the total cost. So that's how we have created this opportunity for all teachers to take up these kind of professional learning journey.
Thank you for clarifying the distinction between the certificates and diploma program and way forward, sir. And it is evident that both offer unique pathways for educators to grow, as you mentioned it, and with the diploma providing deeper insight and leadership opportunities. So my next question to you, sir, that how do the PDQs help school grow in terms of students' outcome and overall reputation?
Of course, this is a very interesting question. So I think I also get to meet a lot of parents and also managements of schools. They say, "Arey Lalith, whenever you're coming, you ask our teachers to get into the PDQ programs and also these training programs. How does that help?" So we need to understand. So what is the? I mean, teachers are also human beings. So we are not like a kind of. I mean, it's not very easy for someone to predict that we can do magic or we can do miracles. If we stand in the classroom, we need to have a lot of things that will be running interconnectedly in our minds. For example, we are going to be with 30, 40 children. So we should be prepared to have 30, 40 different kind of strategies, activities in a classroom so that the last boy or girl is able to understand the concept that we want to teach in that particular hour or whatever. So when this is the ask from a teacher, I think our continuous professional development is very important. When we want to do continuous professional development, we should have a larger kind of a background or larger kind of understanding within ourselves. So what are these understanding? I'm not doubting or I'm not disregarding the education qualifications that all of us have in this room or in the screen or in the program. But still, what is very important is what are those kind of understanding that we have in terms of knowledge of these theories? What is understanding that we have on the principles of education? What is the understanding that we have in terms of how effectively that we can integrate technology? So we might try out a lot of things ad hoc, and some might definitely work very well. But in the journey of our working with children who also are coming from diverse background, and also the needs are multiplied as a teacher, I need to be kind of switching between one pedagogical activity to different. And also it should happen seamless. So I can't take a pause. I can't take a break. I should just be seen as, okay, now I'm doing this and also next I get to that. So unless until we prove ourselves to be those kind of models, those kind of exemplar kind of human beings who can swiftly probably shift from one avatar to another avatar, students will not respect us. Students will, I'm not saying respect in a connotation of respect, but still students will not like to be with us. So in this world, unless until we understand different dimensions of the educational theories and also the foundations and also what this learning means in the whole space and what are those best practices or good practices which are thriving and also which are making more the education more interesting in the classroom and also making the classroom more lively. So we might struggle a bit. We might actually, maybe we say to the students that, children, I understood what you're saying, just give me some time till next week, I'll come back, which is good. I mean, admitting that if I don't know, I should say I don't know, but still, it should not be at the cost of losing the child's interest in learning the concept or subconcept or whatever. So this is one area I think we need to concentrate. Therefore, small capsules of diploma programs or certificate programs and also these kind of professional learning will definitely be very useful for teachers. The second aspect to the whole thing is, if you possess an international certificate by a body like Cambridge, and it is a pride to any school, the management will definitely celebrate this. And also, if you position, for example, if you're fully kind of prepared to take up a kind of a travel or anything for that matter, you're very confident about it. So you feel that, okay, you can take up a 6 hours travel or 10 hours travel. If you're not, then you always have this feeling, oh my God, I don't know what will happen at 7th hour. I don't know what will happen at 4th hour. So I think we need to negate all this thing. And also, there should be a constant urge and also ask in ourselves that, what is that I can learn? And also, how can I bring more kind of the strategies in the classroom? So therefore, the framework that we have built for PDQs is always to build that kind of a strong foundation for teachers.
Thank you, sir. So what would you say to inspire schools considering the PDQ program to confidently embrace this transformative investment?
No, I think I would want to reiterate and also repeat some of those things that I just said. So point number one is upskilling. So I request and urge and earnestly request all the people in this forum is, you have to look out for those opportunities and also spaces. So as Cambridge, we are bringing this certificate and also diploma program, short capsules. We are not saying it will take 3 years, it will take 4 years. We are saying it might take 3 to 4 months to complete the certificate program. Here is the opportunity for you to just reflect upon you and also say that, okay, I can confidently say that I stand here in the scale of kind of a ideal teacher. So I would say upskilling is very important. Keep looking for those opportunities. Second important thing, I would say that please be connected to the classroom activities, therefore to the learners. So we should understand more of those pedagogical strategies in conjunction with the learning opportunities that we want to provide. So I think the qualifications that we're talking right now, the certificate and diploma programs, would definitely provide you a very, very strong foundation for that. And you should not stop here. That's my request. So you should not stop after completing the certificate and diploma program, because there could be a lot of these small things which will pop up for you. I mean, once you enter the classroom, you will understand, oh, I did this in the guided learning hour. Oh, can I actually marry the content as well as that strategy that I learned? So this should be the continuous process. And also, it might help you to tweak your lesson plans and also bring in more qualitative things in your lesson plans, so on and so forth. So in a nutshell, I would request and also probably urge all of you to please contact the PDQ centers, which you saw through the QR code. And I would also request another QR code which would say that you would understand more about the PDQ centers on our website. So our website is www.cambridgeinternational.org. I would request Tripti to put on the QR code on the screen. So please scan this to go and understand this program. And I'm sure that for each one of you, there is a fitment in one or the other, not this one, the other one. So this is the PDQ Center, this one. So if you go to this, you will find what is in store in the PDQs itself in terms of curriculum and all those stuff. So probably get more understanding of this and you will definitely thrive. You will definitely excel, is what I believe.
So thank you, sir, for sharing such valuable insights. And we now have some questions from the audience. I think most of the questions, sir, you have already answered, but there are some specific ones, and we would love to hear your thoughts on them.
Yeah.
And your expertise will surely help us address these queries effectively.
Yeah.
So I'll just read out the questions, sir.
Please.
Yeah. So is there any specific program designed for English teachers? That has already been answered by sir. So we'll go to the next one. What is the process for enrolling in the PDQ in leadership, and how can one find guidance on starting this program?
Oh, there are two parts of this question. So one is, how can I enroll myself into the education leadership program? Like I said, please go through the list of the PDQ centers that has been shown on the QR code. And you could also see which centers offer the leadership program. Please contact them. And then probably, because why I'm saying that is their duration of program or the start of the program will be different. Some schools or some institutions will start the program in January, some will start in July, so on and so forth. So it might not be very well attached or aligning to the academic years. So please check with them. And secondly, if you want to become a PDQ center yourself, then please, again, I would request go to our website. And also, it is similar to becoming a Cambridge International School. You have to follow the process. But as a part of this webinar, we would also take those interests, might be in the chat box or something if you're interested. So we'll be happy to support you to become a PDQ center.
So yes. Now the next question, are these programs suitable for individuals who are new to teaching and lack a year of teaching experience?
Okay, so why have we said that the candidate should be 1 year experienced? Only because you should make sense out of those kind of situations that you're going to encounter, and also vocabulary you're going to encounter. I would not rule out the possibility of these courses becoming very useful for freshers who are just out of colleges. But still, you have to make arrangements for your practice teaching. So likewise, again, I'm repeating, once you contact the centers, because the centers, like I said, most of them are based in a school. So they would definitely give you opportunity to kind of get this practice teaching done. But if you have 1 year of teaching, so you're quite, at least you know what are those areas, like you will have some doubts in your mind, and you can clarify all those things by doing this course. That's how we wanted to kind of bring this.
So the next question is that what is the total fee for the PDQ course, and is the diploma awarded based on assessment?
Of course. Oh, that's an important thing. I might want to speak about assessment, and then probably I want to say whatever I want to say about the fees. So for each of these modules, module 1 is certificate, module 2 and module 3 are diploma program. For each of this module, the candidate would be expected to submit a portfolio of 3,600 words. So it's a combination of all these three areas: guided learning, individual learning, and also collaborative learning. So all these three put together, the candidate is supposed to write a 3,600 words kind of a essay or a kind of portfolio, and then submit it to Cambridge. Only after marking and grading the portfolios, we'll be able to issue the certificate or diploma program for that particular candidate. So it's a very it's a process. Because it's a qualification, we need to follow the process of all this that we also undergo for our any undergrad or graduation or post-graduation program. Coming to fees, we might not be able to reveal that here because it is dependent on the PDQ center. So it would be wonderful if you want to just contact the PDQ centers and also get information on this.
So moving on to the next question, of course, very much related to this one, that are there any scholarships or financial assistance options available for the PDQ program?
Okay, offhand, I would say, I think it's very difficult to answer this question, but it depends on the managements and also the kind of institution that you're talking. From university or from Cambridge perspective, we are offering this courses at a very bare minimum cost, because our motto, in fact, just to mention here, all our professional development qualifications, learning opportunities that we want to create for teachers are not with any profit. We want to only cover up our operational expenses. So having said this, so it might become very difficult for us to offer any scholarships for this from a Cambridge side. But if you want to look from the other angle, that is a management or any supporters or any other corporation or company or agency which wants to support, I think that is there. That can definitely go into all this.
Yeah. So thank you, sir. And as we conclude this enriching session with you, I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to you and for sharing your valuable insight and expertise and your in-depth understanding of the Cambridge PDQ program and its impact on professional development has been truly enlightening. And thank you for addressing our questions with such clarity and for inspiring us to continue our journey of growth and learning. And a big thank you to our wonderful audience as well for your active participation and thoughtful questions, I would say. There are many more questions still left. Your engagement adds, immense value to discussions like these, and we deeply appreciate your time and enthusiasms. With that, we wrap up today's sessions, and thank you all once again. And we look forward to connecting with you in our future programs. Take care and goodbye.
Thank you. Namaste.